You just never know where you might find something weird.
Welcome to Iowa. Iowa is 95% farmland and is the nation's major producer of corn and pigs, believe it or not. So, what is so weird about that?
Well, here in West Bend might be the last place you'd expect to find one of the most amazing examples of religious devotion here in America, the Grotto of Redemption.
Now wait, I thought a grotto was a cave. How are we going to find a cave on such flat land?
Well, as one famous Iowan once put it, if you build it, they will come.
At 4 stories tall and nearly a football field in length, this extreme example of devotion was the vision of just one man.
Talk about going the distance for religious freedom. It took him nearly 50 years to build, and instead of using mortar and bricks, he used agates, geodes, and semi-precious stones that originate far from West Bend.
It's the rocks.
Look at all those rocks.
Don't touch the rocks.
They didn't get these from Iowa.
The Grotto of the Redemption is the world's largest collection of minerals and petrified material and boasts an estimated geological value of more than $4 million. But it's the story behind the grotto that makes it truly priceless.
In 1893, Father Paul Doberstein, a Catholic priest who immigrated to the U.S. from Germany, comes down with pneumonia. At the turn of the century, more than 250,000 lives are lost each year to pneumonia and influenza, which are the leading causes of death in the U.S.
The prognosis is bad, and the priest makes a promise to God. Spare his life, and he will spend it building a spectacular monument in his honor.
His prayers are answered, and he makes a complete recovery, which is no small feat in the days before penicillin.
Soon after, the good father is sent to West Bend, Iowa, where he makes good on his pledge and begins building the monument that becomes his mission in life.
Father Doberstein chooses a grotto for the form of his tribute, and being a geology buff of long standing, he is determined to build it out of crystals, geodes, and semi-precious stones.
Doesn't seem to be any binder, though. It's like, what's holding them all together?
Maybe it's the love of God.
Hope it's not our faith, because the whole thing would come crashing down right now.
One of the most amazing facts about the grotto is how Father Doberstein procures his building materials. On a priest's modest salary, the father spends the first decade of the 1900s traveling across the country and collecting stones. In each town he visits, he enlists the help of the locals. The stones are found in a variety of places, from deep inside rural caves to shells hand-picked from seabeds.
Over 10 years, more than 100 railroad cars loaded with mineral ore arrive in West Bend, addressed to the pastor before any work on the structure ever begins.
Today, upkeep on the monument is left in the hands of curators like Rhonda Miller.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good to meet you.
This place is amazing, and it actually is a grotto in Iowa. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, first of all, do you even know what a grotto is?
Not really.
Kind of, sort of.
Well, we know there's nothing in Iowa like it, right?
You're absolutely right there. A grotto is a cave-like structure, and Father Doberstein, who is the builder of the Grotto of the Redemption here in West Bend, started it in 1912. He had a love of rock and a love of nature, so when
Obviously.
Right, and obviously a love of God as well. There's definitely a spiritual theme that flows through the grotto.
Did he have a master plan to build this? I mean, did he map out what he was going to make it look like when it was finished?
It was really all in his head. He could envision it in 20 seconds and know what he was going to do. So is there a blueprint that we can go on today? Unfortunately not.
I guess we can say he had a lot of rocks in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
But the priest was smart enough to plan ahead. He builds a concrete foundation more than 100 feet wide and as deep as 20 feet in some places.
This will ensure that as the grotto settles over time, its structural integrity remains strong.
What's holding all these stones together? I can't really see any cement or anything.
A lot of Elmer's glue.
Well, actually what he did was he used a combination of Portland cement and sand, and it was his own special recipe.
Well, could you show us around a little bit? I'm really interested to see some of these other details you were talking about.
There are 9 grottos in total, each featuring different building materials and themes.
If you come this way, fellas, I'll show you the first grotto that Father Doberstein built.
Just the main hole?
Isn't this amazing?
Wow, that is cool. Where did all the shells come from?
The shells really from all the coasts.
So he got donations from all over then, right?
He did. He traveled all over the United States.
Now, Rhonda, I see signs all over here that says, please do not touch the rocks, but how many people are going to come all the way here and not touch the rocks?
Well, what we do is we encourage not to touch the rocks. One, in case they're loose, that you don't knock them loose. Plus, a lot of the edges are sharp, so it's for your own safety.
A lot of work goes into maintaining a structure of this size and complexity. So every year they survey the grotto for structural flaws, clean and buff the stones, and glue all the loose rocks back into place.
It looks like it's held up pretty well over the years.
But this is the Grotto of Bethlehem, and this is Christ's humble beginnings.
The grotto is financed mainly through donations. Father Doberstein collects enough money to spend $10,000 on statues in 1948 alone.
And where did the statues get done?
Aren't they phenomenal? They're all hand-carved Carrara marble statues. They were imported from Italy.
It seems more than one person could do in a lifetime. I can't imagine having that sort of dedication to the project.
I guess he was just a crazy worker. I mean, he didn't require much sleep.
Crazy.
I shouldn't say
Interesting
crazy.
choice of words.
Shouldn't say crazy, but
How high does this go?
actually the grotto goes 40 feet in height. So that's the highest.
We keep going up and up and up.
I know, it keeps getting taller and taller.
Is there like a pinnacle that when we get up there, and will we find redemption, do you think?
Well, that's for the donation box.
Father Paul Doberstein earns his wings in 1954 after nearly a half-century of building his amazing grotto.
Over 6 million people have visited the shrine, and it still attracts more than 30,000 pilgrims each year. It is an enduring testament to how far people will go in order to express their faith.
Well, thank you for the tour, Rhonda, and for letting us share in Father Doberstein's divine obsession.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming.
And it is really amazing to find this gem here in the American home.